Hi everybody. Well, it's a beautiful day, so I'm back out in the garden. Now, I've just found this book about fish. Seahorse. Did you know that seahorses are classed as fish? Well, this is a very special book, and it's all about daddy fish carrying babies. Okay, are you ready? Mister Seahorse by Eric Carle, who's the same one who did The Very Hungry Caterpillar. Mr. and Mrs. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea. Mrs. Seahorse began to wiggle and twist this way and that way. There's Mrs. Seahorse and there's Mister Seahorse. Very colourful, aren't they? It's time for me to lay my eggs, she said. Can I help? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Oh yes, thank you, said Mrs. Seahorse. And she laid her eggs into a pouch on Mister Seahorse's belly. I'll take good care of our eggs, said Mr. Seahorse. I promise. So the eggs from Mrs. Seahorse are going into a special pouch, like what a kangaroo's got, where the eggs are going to grow. As Mister Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. Can you see anything? Because this is a really clever book, look. Got a transparent page with some weeds on it, look. There we go, it says, a group of trumpet fish hidden in a patch of reeds. Trumpet fish, they're long and thin like a trumpet, look. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Stickleback? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Delighted, said Mr. Stickleback. I've just built a nest, and right away, Mrs. Stickleback laid her eggs in it. Now I'm taking good care of them until they hatch. Keep up the good work, said Mr. Seahorse, and he swam away. And there's Mr. Stickleback. And do you see his belly? They're the Stickleback eggs. Mr. Stickleback's carrying them to keep them safe. Big fish like to eat fish eggs. They don't want that to happen, do they? As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. Oh, there's another one of those magic pages. I wonder what's in here. Oh, look at that fish. That's very unusual. It's a lionfish and it was hiding behind a coral reef. Now Mr. Seahorse is hiding behind the coral reef, isn't he? But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Tilapia? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Mr. Tilapia couldn't answer because his mouth was full of eggs. Do you think he's eating some fish eggs? No, I don't either. Oh, I know, said Mr. Seahorse. Mrs. Tilapia had laid her eggs and now you're taking good care of them until they hatch. Mr. Tilapia nodded his head. You must be very happy, said Mr. Seahorse, and he swam away. You can't talk when you've got a mouthful of eggs like that in, can you? That would be me trying to eat if I got a mouthful of chocolate balls, Maltesers. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed by. Oh, can you see any fish on this page? Shall we take the magic page away? I think that's seaweed. Oh, a pair of leaf fish hidden among the seaweed. Do they look like leaves? They're very colourful, aren't they, for leaves? I'd like a tree with leaves like that on. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Curtis? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Perfectly fine, said Mr. Curtis. Mrs. Curtis has laid her eggs and I've stuck them on the head. See, he's got the eggs on his head. They're very clever eggs to stick on Daddy's head, aren't they? Now I'm taking care of them until they hatch. You're doing a good job, said Mr. Seahorse, and he swam away. Oh look, Mr. Seahorse is upside down. Have you noticed what's happening to his belly? I think it might be getting a bit bigger. I wonder why. As Mr. Seahorse drifted gently through the sea, he passed right by. Can we see anything? Looks like a big stone. Oh, that's because it's a big rock, look. And you see? A stonefish was hidden behind the rock. And how stonefish always look very grumpy. Oh, I'm a grumpy stonefish. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Pipe? Asked Seahorse. Couldn't be better, replied Mr. Pipe. Mrs. Pipe had laid her eggs along my belly. Look, the pipefish. It's got all his eggs along his belly to take care of them. Now I'm taking good care of them until they hatch. You should feel very proud of yourself, said Mr. Seahorse, and he swam away. Mr. Seahorse is definitely getting a bigger belly. But before long, Mr. Seahorse met another fish. How are you, Mr. Bullhead? Asked Mr. Seahorse. Tip-top, said Mr. Bullhead. Mrs. Bullhead laid her eggs. The eggs hatched. Now I'm babysitting. You're doing a great job, said Mr. Seahorse, and he swam away. There's Mr. Bullhead. And look, all his baby fish. They look just like him, but they're smaller, aren't they? Just like some of you look like your mummies and daddies, but little. The time had come for the seahorse babies to be born. Mr. Seahorse wiggled and twisted this way and that, and at last the babies tumbled out of Mr. Seahorse's pouch and swam away. Yay! They're big enough to be born, look. One baby turned round and tried to get back in the pouch. Oh no, said Mr. Seahorse. I do love you, but you are ready to be on your own now. Look, there's the one. He's turned back because he's a bit scared being in the sea. He wants to go back in his daddy's pouch. They're very little, aren't they? Oh, and there they all are. The baby seahorse, all going off to swim on their adventure. Now there were lots of different fish in that story, and most of them were daddy fish, and they looked after the eggs. How clever is that? Did you know about any of those fish? Do you know which my favourite one is? The word I really like, tilapia. I think that sounds like a cool word, but I really like the look of the lionfish. It's very stripy. Well, I hope you enjoyed my story about fish. I know that some of you have made some beautiful fish, and I'm loving the ones with the sparkles on especially. Okay, thank you everybody. I'll see you all soon. Bye!